And so the amount of winning that you've done and the amount of growing that you have done, how do you respond to people who say you weren't asked to do as much as a quarterback in the NFL needs to have done to lead a team to a championship?
What I was asked to do was to adapt to Coach Harbaugh's system. And it was a hard pill to swallow, I'm not going to lie to you, because I know the work I put in, I know the confidence that I have in myself. But, this is a system that has worked for him ever since he got into coaching at USD. So, like, being able to put my personal motives aside and do what's best for the team and follow my coach's orders, because that's what we're soldiers on the football field. We follow our, top of the command, and we do what they say. And, at the end of the day, having that experience where, I'm not thinking about myself, I'm thinking about we instead of me, is going to just carry over so much easier to the NFL, because there is that out there, but not as much in college. And being able to have that experience in a pro style offense, being able to understand situation of football, how to control the game, how to win the ugly games, that's going to transition to the best, because it really comes down to those 2 minutes at the end of the game, right before half, all the little stuff that I learned playing at University of Michigan.
When you said it was a tough pill, give me some examples. Seriously about
Penn State, the one that everyone talks about. That was a really tough pill to swallow, but going into it, it was a monumental part of the quest to where we wanted to get to. So, whatever we had to do to win is, what I'm signing up for. And Coach Moore told me in the receivers, it's going to be one of those games. And you didn't hear a peep out of us. You didn't see us, stutter at all. It was just, Roger that. Let's go to work. And, I got in there a little bit with the running game and stuff like that. Yeah. But, afterwards I asked Coach Moore, like, hey, what was it? Do you not trust me? Do you not have faith in my abilities to help play? And he said, absolutely not. I just felt this number 44, Chop Robinson, was going to tee off and have a game. So we had to adapt and, do what they have a hard time stopping, which is 9-on-7 football, and just keeping it between the tackles and just willfully moving the chains. And I totally get it with his all the pressure he was under, everything that led up to that game, with Coach Harbaugh being suspended, right when we touched down. It just at the end of the day, it was a hard pill to swallow, but we won, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And you wound up winning at the end of the day as well. And I have not heard you say, by the way, JJ McCarthy here on the Rich Eisen Show at the Draft in Detroit, I've not heard you say, it was a tough pill to swallow. I didn't hear a boo or a peep, because I'm assuming you thought this could be my last run here. Yes, and your draft stock is going to be in the balance in such a way.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we're hearing so much is like, well, you know what? He wasn't asked to throw, so he can't.
Yeah.
Not that you haven't complained about it. And just on behalf of everybody at Michigan, I saw you throw it in the horseshoe, and the game kind of flipped when you started throwing it around.
Yes, sir.
So, but when you hear Jim basically say you're the best that's ever done it here at Michigan, that had to remind you, right, of
100%.
Of the plan, the program, right?
Yeah, and that just jogged my memory. It was week 4 after we beat Maryland, and I was worried about the stats, and I was calling them and saying, like, hey, like, I wish we could, just, open up the playbook just a little bit more. But he told me, hey, I just want you to know that the most important stat of a quarterback is wins and losses. Tom Brady, yeah, obviously he's got great stats, but his most important stat is that 7 rings he's got on his fingers. So just being able to hear that at such a young age and understand, this is what football's all about. It's winning. And, with the whole he can't throw and all that, it's just, all this is just projection. We have no idea who's going to turn out, who's going to be great. So it's just all based off of, the intangibles and the tangibles. And, I feel like I've done a great job, leading up to this process to make sure that those are dialed into a T.
Have you spoken to Brady at all?
Not during this process, but I have over the years extensively for sure.
But not during this entire process, you're saying?
No, I actually spoke with Peyton Manning. He was kind enough to reach out and, give me some pieces of advice going into this thing.
You're willing to share? What do you say?
Not to, obviously this was the biggest thing he said. Respect the NFL, respect the speed, changes, respect the just immense amount of talent that's on the field every single day. But don't over-respect it. Don't, he got in trouble speeding up his footwork and trying to make decisions too quick and not being patient enough. Understand, CJ Stroud, perfect example. He was that great balance of respecting but not over-respecting. So that was something that was huge because going into it, I'm already over-respecting everyone on that field, whether it's at practice or on game day.
Yeah. Wow. I kind of know how it feels to be in your shoes with Jim Harbaugh a little bit because I had my charity run at the Rose Bowl this past Sunday.
Right.
And, you know what it's like to win at the Rose Bowl. And so I was having a good day getting ready to run my 40-yard dash.
No.
And Jim was there because my wife had reached out to him to shoot a video in support of the run to help promote it. And he, with Sarah and his kids, showed up. They were there. And I'm like, hey, would you mind taking part in this thing? And Chris was there as well, and you watched him basically grab a bullhorn.
He took over.
He took over. He took over. And I said,
not shocked.
Do me a favor before I run. Can you treat me like you treated JJ by slamming me on my shoulders and whatever? And here's that moment you're going to see on NFL Network this weekend. I want to show it to you first.
All right, Jim, Eisen, let's go. Ready to go? Yeah. Let's go. You got this. Yeah. Mind in a good spot?
Yeah.
You're the greatest. You're the best of all time.
All right. I'm the greatest.
Let her rip. Let her rip. Let her rip.
Hey, identical.
Is that right?
Identical.
Although I got to tell you, when he was jabbing me,
oh yeah,
he really was jabbing me.
Hey,
I
that's
didn't
one
have
thing
pads
about
on.
Coach Harbaugh. He's not going to half-ass anything. Anything. Yeah.
So that reminds you of that?
Oh, yeah.
That's the real deal?
Yeah.
Him saying that, did that get you fired up, or you're just like, I'm good, Coach, I got it?
I mean, his whole thing with that is, when he was in Chicago, he was super nervous before his first game. And Walter Payton goes up to him and say, hey, just get hit. You'll be fine. And all the butterflies would go away. And that was always his thing, get that first hit. And he tries to get ahead of it. He tries to give you that first contact to kind of cool the butterflies down. But, you're already so locked in before the game. That's just like a routine thing that it's like, all right, it's time to go.
It's kind of more for him, I guess, than maybe than it is for you.
Plus it's also pretty cool that you could say, well, Walter Payton once told me. I would love to start any story with that. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.